Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of your divine uniqueness. Very happy to connect with you again here. Thank you for your presence, whether live or on replay. And also very, very excited that Michael Smith is back on the show. I think the last time it was 2 or 3 years that he joined us. And how to say, like through his message and the teaching that he shares, really feel so much care, so much wisdom, and so much authenticity in the guidance that he brings, and 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 also how I love how he helped us to really connect to our power, to our like abilities and potential, so we really can, how to say, creates our heart desires and also navigates the many changes that we are going through. It's more like we are not dependent on the change, but we are like living as sovereign beings, and we have the power to create what we want, no matter what's happening in the world. And so very, very excited that he's here today. For those of you who are new to him, he is a doctoral trained counselor, spiritual medium, and shamanic healing practitioner. And today's call is shifting into the new era and igniting the divine fire within. And so Michael, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us
It's
today.
so good to be back, Monsef, and thank you. It touched me very deeply what you said, and I'm so excited to be on your program because you have just a way about you that is very endearing, and you've been at this a while. What has it been, 10 years that you've been
No, I
doing
think
this show? Eight?
eight.
Long time. Yeah. Bravo.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me. And welcome to all of the viewers and listeners.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. Also very happy to have you with us. And I shared maybe just your title, a little bit about what you do, but I would love if you can tell us more about your work and the
I've been
services that
saying
you.
lately that I'm a professional out of the box thinker because that feels like really what all that I do is just, I just ask the divine, like, help me to explain our connection to you in a new or a different or a unique or a fresh way, basically. So that's kind of what I do. And I'm super grateful to be able to do this work. I've been doing it for, God, 16 years now, full time. And I work with empaths primarily and sensitive people. And what I do, my gig with that, some empath mentors work with, help grounding people and working with energy. I used to do that, and I've kind of moved away from that a little bit. And just, I'm all about these days about connecting to our personal power, which is the divine, all of us, our source of strength, goodness, laughter, humility, joy. All of these types of energies are what really light me up. And I'm tracking this in a lot of us as empaths. We're getting increasingly turned on by the power of our word and the power of our language, to use language intentionally and to use the number one tool of manifestation. Does anyone got any idea, like, if you were going to say, like, what is the number one tool to manifest? What pops into your head? Just prompting, getting the gears spinning of your intellect here. What I would suggest is that it's asking, thank you, Bernice, thoughts. Yeah, Bernice, you're right on the money there, I would say. Thank you for sharing. And anyone else, type into the chat box. That'd be great. Love to hear from you throughout this whole call today. I would add that it's a particular form of thought, and that is a question. A question. There are good questions and there are bad questions. And really what we're doing is we're moving from operating with bad questions. And here's an example of a bad question. Why am I suffering? Why do I have a block? A lot of the very poor, ineffective questions start with why. Because why questions, even if you got the answer, it doesn't continue the momentum. But a how question, how can I overcome my blocks, divine, universe, spirit? How can I overcome my blocks so that I can feel more passionate about my work, have better relationships, make more money, be healthier? These are the types of things that help us manifest from a fifth dimensional perspective. And it's exciting to be able to be in this field that we're in today, to be able to do just that, to manifest from the 5D.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to start with that. And also because like we manifest what we desire. And maybe my first question is what is a desire for you? Because what I noticed, especially in my personal experience, it changes over time. As we evolve, it changes. And also we hear that we need to be clear about what we want and focus on that. At the same time, it changes. So I would love to know how you see desires evolving through the manifestation process. I mean,
Yeah.
how it relates to that. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm glad this is a great question. Because it's kind of a next level question, and we all get very excited about this. So thank you for bringing this up. Desires and wants are important, and yet we are not on this earth. Let's get this straight. We're not on this planet to have what we want, all that we want. Okay. Yes, we get like a little dollop of good stuff, right? And that the divine gives it to us for a reason, because they don't want us to give up. However, there's a big difference between desires and needs. What we need is the most important question. What do I need? So your question to yourself, you that is listening to this and watching this, okay? Your question to yourself in spirit realm is, what do I need? And can you help me bring me what I need? Now, sometimes the desires, okay, let's just say, I'll use myself an example. I have a strong desire, like super strong desire for a partner, a love relationship, a soulmate that feels like I've been waiting forever, right? And I do feel that even though that person has not shown up yet, that is also a need for me. Okay. So sometimes desires and needs, wants and desires and needs, okay, they intersect. And so your question to yourself and our question to ourselves is to live an authentic spiritual life. We must ask ourselves the question, what are my desires? And are my desires also a need? And much of the time, the answer is no. They're not, they're incompatible. So like, oh, maybe you have a desire to get a Lamborghini. Okay, but all right, nothing wrong with that. Fantastic. You have a desire. There's no judgment from the desire, from the spirit world on the desires we want. Whether or not you manifest a Lamborghini is between you and spirit. And so the message when I was tuning in today, I'm like, hey, divine, all right, this is a question, example of manifest, how we manifest. We ask a question to our guides. So I want everyone to write down in just a moment, just think of a question that you have that you would like illumination on from the divine. All right. So where was I going with that? The Lamborghini. Oh my God. All right, I completely lost my train of thought. So does anyone have any reactions or thoughts based on what has been said thus far? Would love to hear your comments, or Monsef, any of your comments as well. What this might be bringing up in you.
Linda, she wrote, isn't this mostly an illusion?
I'm not sure what, Linda, you're referring to when you say, isn't this? What do you mean by this? An illusion? I'm not,
maybe
can you be a little more specific
the physical
about that?
experience. Like, how to say? Maybe also uh, also for me, maybe a question is about desires, because like you said, there is needs and desires. Sometimes they align. Sometimes they are maybe energetically not aligned. And what I notice is that when we open the space for something better that will serve us, in general, like for me, like it's much better than I desired before. So it's like even though when we say like we will not get all our desires, maybe there is some disappointments, but in fact it's not that. Like we will get things that we sometimes we don't even expect, and much better than what we planned.
Much better things. And that I love that. What you're saying is because we're recognizing that, think of all of the things in your life that have been amazing. Based on what you're saying, Mansef, I'd be willing to bet. I'm just going to guesstimate here. I'll just use myself an example again, right? I bet you're probably similar, those of you that are listening. 50% maybe of all the good things in my life, maybe even more, maybe even 60, 70%, I had no clue was that these things were going to manifest. And that's the power. That type of manifestation is happening more and more frequently in the new era. We are in an era that has been prophesized about for thousands of years. We're here. And the power of this era is that we're recognizing that we're not in control. And that was the message that I tuned into earlier today, that when I lost my train of thought. The message from the divine is, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. It's not up to me. Feel into that vibration of those words. And what is it up to? Is the resulting question. It's up to us. We are working together now in a way that we haven't been able to before. And the veils have lifted to a very large portion where we can see just how connected we actually are. We get proof. We get little mini miracles happening to us when we affirm and we acknowledge that it's about the us. This is the new era. It's us together. It's not Michael individually. It's not Destine or Susanna or Hannah. It's all of us here on this call, right? And we've got a fair number of people here today. So we're all in this field right now, and we're all creating the new earth. How about that for, right now? We're literally, when we do these types of events, which are really ceremonies where we intentionally connect to our highest self, we're creating the new earth. So thank you, everyone, for your part in that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel there is a huge shift happening. Like I see there is more acceptance compared to before. Just maybe a few years ago, I feel that shift happening. I feel there is more love. Like we are in the path of creating more, but I feel there is change happening, like compared to what I've been seeing in the past. And I've been seeing like people in different places, different countries, and I saw that there is more love coming, and we'll be experiencing more in the future. And so based on what you said, it's how our life will unfold and the experience we will have. Maybe we don't have the bigger picture, or we don't know what we will receive exactly, or when. So the question is how to become comfortable with not knowing and having more trust in that process.
How do we become comfortable with not knowing? It's so simple. It's breathtakingly simple. We have two sides. We have a human side, and which needs to know, or believes it needs to know and doesn't. And then we have the spiritual side, the higher self, the soul, could care less about knowing. In fact, in most cases, does not want to know. It's about the journey and the adventure of being human and being surprised and allowing for surprise. So we got these two different personalities. When we become frustrated or irritated, like me, all right, this is my human self, uh, at least maybe once, twice a day, I will have a little bit of an irritated energy, like, come on, Divine, we need to speed this up. Where's my partner? All right. And so when I recognize that that dynamic is happening, what does it allow me to do? And what does it allow you to do when you recognize that irritated energy, or, like, come on? It allows us to shift back into the opposite of that energy from human. We just swing the pendulum from human to divine. So right now, it's as simple as just closing your eyes and calling on your higher self and breathing, pairing the intention with the physical act. Breathe into your lungs, your higher self, everybody, right now. Just breathe from below, up your legs, into your heart, allowing, receiving, and being okay when we are in this space with not knowing. This energy, y'all can feel the difference. All it took was an intention and an ask. So to affirm from this place, we now repeat, and I ask each one of you to repeat out loud if you can, because it does imprint on your energy field more when you vocalize it with your voice. Speak from your gut the following phrase, and I want you to think of something while you're in your divinity. I want you to connect it to your human frustration about something that you're mildly irritated about, that you don't know, have an answer for, some answer that has not yet appeared. Think of that. Okay. You got a little bit of frustration, a little bit of impatience going on because you don't have the answer yet. We're connecting the two. And now you're from your spiritual self, from your gut or your heart, not your mouth, from your gut or your heart, speak the following words about this dilemma. I don't know yet, and I don't need to know. Can you feel those waves of relief that those words provide? A spiritual master, which all of us are. And you may not think of yourself as a spiritual master. I'm here to assure you that you are. It's just a question of where are you focusing? Are you focusing on your human ego? Or are you focusing on your divinity? When you focus on your divinity, you remember that you are a master and you have all the answers inside. And Destine, when you ask, how do we stop trying to control everything? It's what we just did. It's affirming how little we know, that it's okay. We have permission to not know. And actually, it's a good thing to not know, because that's how we surrender control. Surrender is a huge part of our hearts and the energy of our hearts. It's easy to surrender for anything when we're in our hearts and when we're connected to the divine. But boy, when we step out of that, and when we move, as we're human, right? So of course we're going to be spending a lot of our existence in our human. That's the only part of us that wants to control, is the egoic mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was powerful. And also, like the word surrender, like, just want to comment on that. It's like true surrender. It's a very empowering state of being, because sometimes it feels like we are giving up on something we want, but it's more like surrendering. It's like surrendering to our true power and true potential that we are not aware of right now.
So I love that, Monsef, surrendering to the true power. And that's how miracles occur. And that's how we manifest what we want, is the moment that we truly surrender. If we have something called spiritual friction. Okay. Just think of like anything that you're frustrated or irritated or maybe even protesting about. I know a lot of my clients, whether in my group programs and classes or whether I'm working with people individually, I notice this a lot and I hear this a lot. Well, you know, gosh, why I hear this why leads to whining. Why must the world be like it is right now? Why is it a shit show out there? Like why? When we say why, underneath the why, that underneath that question, why is the world the way it is, there is protest energy underneath that question. And when we engage our resistance, our protest, or our judgment of anything, including the world as it is, then we get spiritual friction. And spiritual friction is the roadblock always to having a life experience that we want. Always. It never fails. So what we do is we just simply become aware of the resistance when it's there. And when we do, then the resistance becomes our best friend. And you might be thinking, well, how is my resistance my best friend? Because when you become aware that you're resisting, as I was with, come on, where's my partner? Then we shift into our other self. Oh, Michael, you know better than I know. Shift into your higher self. And then it's just a moment. In just a moment, we shift. And then that surrender is the gateway to getting everything that we need and a lot of what we want, including the relationships, the money, the health, these types of things. Great questions.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you answered that before, but Linda, what should we do to keep negativity away from us?
What do we do to keep negativity away from us? We don't try to keep negativity away from us. That's the first thing. Okay, this is a common trait with empaths is you have been designed by the universe to absorb and pull in energy. That's a fact. If you're an empath, you have an aura that rather than having walls, like a psychopath has an aura that has built with walls, or a narcissist has basically walls. And so, like, energy will repel off that type of a person. But empaths are very different. We are designed to pull in energy and absorb energy of everything around us for a darn good reason so that we can know what's going around on in the people and the environment around us. You're like the equivalent of a window screen. So the air will pass through a window screen and the energy will pass through your aura just like a window screen. The sooner that we can accept this truth and not resist it, is the sooner that you can get on with your work in the world. So the question is a good one because we all at one point or another have had this question and this concern like, well, how do I keep negativity away from me? How do I keep low vibes away from me? How do I stop absorbing the low vibes of others? You don't. What you do is you focus only, almost exclusively, on building your light, remembering to connect. And all it takes is a moment, everybody. It just takes one moment to remember, like, oh, yeah, I've got this higher self on the other side that wants to help me. And I think I got to do it alone as a human being. Remember to connect. Then what happens is the equivalent is they shower us and our auras with, and we get bigger like this. And when we get bigger and more filled with light, then what happens is anything that is projected towards you that is negative, someone's criticism of you, it comes into your field, but the light transmutes it to the point where we don't feel it. So if you're a physical empath like I am, I want to give you some hope because 15 years ago when I was just getting started, I was feeling everybody's pain in my body. And I'm like, this sucks. Why? Right? I was still in a little bit of resistance here. Thank God we've moved past that, because moving past the resistance to what is, to one's own existence. I mean, if you're having some version of that going on in your own consciousness right now, I encourage you to just gently pledge to let that go, because it's only making things worse for you. There will come a time, I assure you, where you will be carrying so much light. Just keep coming to classes like this and events like this and doing your work, getting the books, investing in yourself and your growth. I promise you, there will come a time where it will not hurt. I am aware of negative energy when the clients that I work with all the time. I'm aware of it. I feel it in my body, but within 5 seconds, it's gone. That's what's going to happen to all of us empaths as long as we keep doing our work. That is the promise of the divine. The divine has so much love for us. They're not going to let us suffer. They don't want us to suffer. We're never meant to be martyrs or burden carriers as empaths. We're meant to be carriers, but not carriers of other people's burdens or emotions. We're meant to be carriers of light and unconditional love, because when we have unconditional love and acceptance, that's it. There are no problems. If you can find in yourself the word, and this is a word that is very, very important for us to master, all of us, I accept. Feel into that, everybody. Think of something that you're in resistance about, and just now, right now, take this following phrase, I accept, and then fill in the blank. And then feel right now as you say it, I can feel you all doing this. My heart is just getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Thank you for that. That's how we heal the world. That's how we heal each other, is by accepting everything and resisting nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so beautifully said. And as you were sharing that, also it reminded me about a pattern that we may have as empath, is that when we feel like maybe the pain or suffering of others, we have sympathy and we want to save them. And we try to do that. Like, we take action, we try to take their burden and save them, but somehow it's just temporary. Like people, they find another way to be back to the same situation. So either they become more dependent on us, or it's at some point we will feel like overwhelmed that we can't handle that anymore.
This is so important. Again, thank you. You're right on the money with what a lot of us are dealing with and sometimes struggling with. So we want to fix, we want to heal, we want to rescue, we want to be the superhero. I know for me, when I was first getting started, I'm like, I'm going to be, this is the energy of what we've been instilled with. So I would suggest that this desire that we have to help, when it gets out of balance and we take it too far to the point where it starts to drain us, it's for two reasons. There is a 3D human reason for this dynamic, and I'll explain in just a second. And then there is a 5D spiritual reason for this dynamic, wanting to help. The 3D human reason is a lot of us have at some point in our lives encountered trauma as part of it, perhaps, maybe not. I've noticed this in most of the clients that I work with, is that there's something happened to us, a memory, something really important that we call our core wound happened to us early on, where we had alcoholic parents, or we had parents that were not there, mentally ill maybe, and we had to become uber responsible. That's the human reason. So we learned through conditioning from our parents, if I step in and use my energy and my gifts and I try to make someone feel good, I get praised for it. It's nothing more, nothing less than learning, operant conditioning, as we say in psychology. All right. The 5D reason is we understand as empaths and light holders, we're all light holders. We may not be light workers, but we're light holders. And that's why we're on the planet, to hold the vibration of spirit. That vibration, if you think to yourself, is it yes or is it no? It's primarily, I would suggest, yes, meaning there's the unconditional love and acceptance of everything. So it's all good. It's all okay from a spiritual perspective. And so we come to Earth knowing on our soul contract, all of us are on this call. If you're listening to this whether it's on recording or live, you're here to help. You're on this planet to help others. And so because that is the fifth dimensional encoding that is in your design, it's in your DNA to help. And you know, on a very, very deep level that goes beyond thought, that you are here to help. We just take it too far. We just get out of balance and we just simply do too much of it. So so for you, your question to yourself is, all right, my tendency to want to rescue, heal, fix, save, is this coming more from 3D? Is this coming from learning something I learned as a child, or is this coming from 5D? My wanting to help from a spiritual perspective? For most of us, it's a combination of both. Great question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for the 3D reason, many times it's more about just feeling good about ourselves. It comes like from, like we don't feel worthy enough, and then we want to do like huge things for others to feel that we are good people, something like that.
Right. It fulfills that void for a lot of us. And you really want to get real with yourself. If you're recognizing that inside of you, your question to yourself is, how can I release that? And when I say question to yourself, I'm talking both your human self and your fifth dimensional soul. How can I release that maladaptive, unhelpful desire to rescue, save, heal, fix? And just when we are able to let that go, like right now, imagine that you're breathing it out of you. This is so simple, you guys. Breathe it out of you. It's never a one and done. When we have these default patterns in us, they're going to rear their heads always for the rest of our lives. When it comes up in the moment, okay, find a physical action you can take. This is what I do when I've anything that's dissonant in me. I just breathe it out of me. And you could feel the energy change. When I breathe that out of me, I go directly to source, and that's what's left. Same thing for you, and same thing for all of us. So something as simple as breathing it out in the moment for the rest of your lives when it comes up, that's what it's all about. It's never going to be fully healed, ever. So let's get that out of the way. And then when we recognize that, boy, does it take a lot of the pressure off. Oh, it's never one and done. It's in the moment. Okay, I can handle that. I'm not overwhelmed by that thought. I don't have to do like 80 hours of shadow work. I can just do my shadow work in 10 seconds of exhaling it and bringing myself back to center. That's it. Super easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love that. And yeah, we will take more questions in a minute. Just want to comment another thing because on what you said, because when we do that, it helps us to be in the moment, and it helps us to have a better relationship with others, because we start questioning like, if I don't relate to others just to feel good about myself, then it's just being with others. I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to make an effort. Then we open a space to recognize our true value, that's just by being who we are with others. It's enough of itself.
It's enough.
Yeah.
We are enough. Affirm this to ourselves. Let's do it in a group field, because when we have 20 of us here, and plus we have the vortex of all those people watching on the recordings, we're creating an energy vortex. Just say this to yourself right now, and say it from your gut or your heart, not your mouth or your brain, but your heart or your gut. And so I like to place my hand on my gut or my heart when I say this, because now we're channeling. All right, invoke your higher self and let your higher self speak these words for you. I am enough. Big difference when we remember to speak from our presence and our heart, not this.
Yeah,
we are enough. And that's what we're learning in this age, is we don't have to do anything. Everybody goes to heaven, despite what religion told us. We're correcting. We're correcting in this era of consciousness a lot of the religious wounding that we all received, whether we grew up in a religious household or not. The divine is re-educating us, re-remembering us, and letting us know the truth. And the truth is that there's nothing that we could ever do wrong from a fifth dimensional spiritual perspective, because it's all valuable. All of our choices lead to the light, every single one of them, including Hitler. His choices, yes, they caused a lot of human karma, which that soul is now currently making up for right now as we speak. Believe you me, that soul known as Hitler is working in conjunction with hundreds and maybe even millions of other souls that he impacted, and they are correcting the mistakes of the past. And one of the biggest mistakes of the past is religion. And we all know this. If you're on this call, you know this, that religion has been used destructively to control, to manipulate, and to make people feel uh, less than and unworthy. Me growing up gay, I struggled with this until I was 30 at least, because I was so devout as a child. I wanted to be a priest. I knew as a child, like a lot of us knew, we knew we were here to help and we wanted to serve others. And I was 7 or 8 years old and I'm going to be a priest, right? I went to a Catholic college. And what did that teach me? That most of what religion, well, not most, but a lot of what religion teaches is bunk. They got it backwards. So what we're recognizing in the Christ consciousness era, and not a religious connotation to this, believe you me, okay? Christ, that word means anointed. And when we are anointed with the divine and the universal higher intelligence force, we remember that we're all worthy. We have an inherent worthiness that is there. We just need to look for it. And how do we look for it? We ask.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I agree with you about that. And how to say, also because I grew up religious before, it's, in my experience, it was like always others know better than me, and I will never know on my own. Like it, it feels like there is this blockage. If someone try to bypass that, it feels like he's doing something wrong. So it's yeah, there is some
How have you worked
something like
past,
that.
how have you worked through that, Mansaf? How have
It
you?
took me a while. Like before spirituality, it was more self-development, but it was when I started searching in spirituality, reading and looking into this, um, that I started questioning things. And also like many experiences, like through my past marriage, it was a big time for a big change. She was very spiritual. I was still having some religious things.
Mm.
And also at some point it was also because there was a lot of terror and fear when I was shifting path and staying with that feeling. It was painful at some point. Sometimes I couldn't sleep at night because I was afraid, but just being with that feeling and holding the space, it helped at some point to move through that. And then it became more like a lot of freedom. I mean, really a
Freedom.
lot of freedom. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. After that.
That's primary energy of this new era that we're in is freedom. We're recognizing that we all have freedom to invoke our free will, and even better and best when we invoke our choices and use our free will to make choices that are in alignment with divine service and what the divine wants. So yes, the divine gives us free will, and it's a little tricky because they do have a vested interest. As a collective, we have a vested interest in each other's choices, do we not? So if that's true, and I believe that it is, then what is the role of our spirit guides? The role of our spirit guides is to, I've seen this. I left my body in 2014 and I saw with my own very terrorized mind at the time. I got so broken open. I saw what our spirit guides do because I actually saw them having conversations about me. And that's a trip, believe me. And I saw what they do. They do two things. They pray for us to the God force, to the Godhead. So they're constantly creating movement towards what the divine wants for us, there are certain outcomes that they do want to direct us towards and steer us towards, even though we have free will. See, it's kind of a complex thing. And then the second thing I saw is that they rewrite our stories. So when we have negative thoughts, this is all very high level information. By the way, if you're turned on by this kind of conversation, I'm doing a brand new class, Soul Sanctum Spirit School. It's on my website. I haven't announced it yet on my email list or on social media, but it's there on the website if you want to get a taste for it. And we'll be covering information like this. What the spirit guides do, your spirit guides, when you have a negative thought, I used to think like I was going to break my leg. All right. That was like, for whatever reason, that was like one of my biggest fears. I saw when I left my body and I was in the spirit realm that they rewrite the story. So every single time you have a negative thought, they're correcting it in the spiritual realm. Oh, Michael didn't break his leg that day. He actually got a little scratch, and it was an innocuous scratch, and it was fine. It turned out to be nothing. That's exactly what I saw them doing. And so that's what they do. They hang out in their memory field there, and they just correct, because every thought that we have goes into something called the field of memory. It's different than the Akashic records. The field of memory contains every thought ever thunk. And so what they do is they hang out in the field of memory and they just correct our negative thoughts for us. That's one of their protective roles. So we do have a certain level of immunity. How does that make you feel, everybody? To know that your spirit guides are doing that level of specific protection for you, correcting your negative thoughts so that they don't come true. I just was like, whoa, it's amazing.
Yeah, it brings some relief. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, as you just shared, your newsletter and websites. So I will share the link to your free gift. So it's I put it on the
please
chat box on Zoom and also on YouTube. There is also the link and buttons on the live events page, later on the replay page, and the YouTube video description. And so these are Monday messages.
Monday messages.
Would you like to talk about that?
They're just channeled messages. And when I say channeled, I don't mean like, oh, I have any special gifts. We all have the gift of channeling, all of us. And so I choose to use my spiritual connection to channel just wisdom, spiritual wisdom that will resonate with you. And I do that every Monday. And then, I mean, just sign up for the list, and I hope you'll receive benefit from that. That's my primary and only intention, is that you receive benefit from everything that I do, because just like you, we love to serve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael. And again, the link is on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube, the free gifts button on the live events page, later on the replay page. And also you'll find the link on the YouTube video description.
And empathconnection.com is the website if you want to take a look at some point. But please do sign up for the mailing list wherever you find it.
Yeah. And a question. We have two Lindas today. So the first one, when taking in powerful downloads and energy, how might we integrate and anchor in these things more fully? Thank you.
Okay. Who's the name of the person who asked that?
Linda.
Wonderful question, Linda. And the mere fact that you're asking the question, how can we integrate this light into our existence? You're going to get the answer to that through energy. So when we ask a question, the energy is what's important. It's coming to you right now. And you can actually catch a wave of it if you just breathe it into your lungs. So the answer, Linda, is nonlinear to that question. There's a linear and a nonlinear answer to that. The nonlinear fifth dimensional answer is you just breathe the energy. And like right now, just breathe it into your lungs. Feel it. And then know that often, because there is a delay in time between receiving energy from spirit and there's a delay in time until it becomes conscious or it appears in our reality. So we set the intention after taking a breath, and all of us can do this, not just Linda, any question you have to spirit, just breathe it into your body and then wait. And we get patient, or we are patient, and we wait for the answer to manifest in our everyday life. So 99% of our questions are answered through experiences in our daily life. You do have the 1% that happens on occasion when we're in a deep meditation, or sometimes not even in a deep meditation. If you're meant to know something, spirit will make sure you know it. They will tell you. So sometimes, roughly 1% of the time, they'll drop you with glitter. Okay, we're going to give you the answer to that question. So how do we integrate? We integrate by balance between our human and our divine selves. And one of the biggest, oh gosh, this is a big one for empaths and sensitives, is we forget that integration requires physical movement, and it requires a physical component so that we can anchor the light. If we are spending too much time in our heads, sitting on the couch, watching, endlessly scrolling YouTube or Netflix, or scrolling through Instagram, we all do it. If you're doing that and not getting out physically into the world with nature, into nature, or if you're not getting physical movement, you will not be able to integrate as effectively. So I want everyone to understand how simple this is, okay? We think as empaths, oh my God, I need to go to the gym, I need to work out for an hour, or I need to go into nature for an hour or a whole day. No, do this. Take your arms, stretch them out like this, side to side. Feel your biceps, feel your tendons. This is a long answer to that question, but it feels relevant, okay? Now, does that not feel good? When we stretch, and this is why yoga, this is yoga, everybody. Okay, I want everyone to affirm this. I am doing yoga. This alone, just an arm stretch, people. It's not difficult. We don't have to go to the gym. We can do it wherever we are, in the bathroom, at work. It doesn't matter. And you release the feel-good neurotransmitters. Right now, as you're doing that, you're getting a boost of serotonin, dopamine, all of them, just through that alone. So the long answer, that was a long answer to that question. There's a human and a divine component. Great question, though.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael, and also Linda, for your question. Another question from our second Linda. How do you manage a passive-aggressive narcissist who lives with you and leaving is not an option?
How do you manage a passive-aggressive narcissist and leaving is not an option? You reassess the belief that leaving is not an option. You must, or you're going to suffer, because narcissists will continue to drain your energy. And the truth, the hard truth is, if you're an empath and you're with a narcissist, you can choose to stay, but you cannot manage that relationship. You will be drained. They will take your energy. That's why they're called energy vampires. So what you need to do is you need to get real with yourself, and you need to ask for help from both human and divine. And I work with a lot of clients to give them the help they need to get out of relationships with narcissists. I hold your hands if this is you and you need help. And in fact, one of my clients, we started work a year ago. She had 3 sessions, and we had a ton accomplished. I work fast, okay? I have a direct connection, as you do, we all do, to the divine. That means that things manifest quickly. And just yesterday, she said she's just now moved out of her house. So whoever asked that question, I think it was Linda, I just want you to take solace in that fact that you are just being asked to reassess the belief, which is from your human ego, which is not spirit's belief. Spirit knows that you must leave that relationship. They want you to leave the relationship with a narcissist, and they will help you find a way to do it. You just need to remember to ask for help from both human and divine, and miracles will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Michael, and thank you, Linda. First, Linda shares, thank you so much. And Destiny is asking if possible to do a group process to move into the heart, from the mind to the heart.
A group process. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we can do that. I've got a
Group
great,
group
I love
process.
doing.
Yeah, process. Yeah.
Mhm. Is that okay, Monsef? Do we have like 5 minutes
Of
to
course.
do a little group meditation?
Yeah. We have more.
Okay. All right, everybody, plant your feet on the ground and come internal. Just give yourself a hug to start off with. And this gets the oxytocin. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Destine. Hug yourself. Okay. If you can stay an extra 5 minutes, please do, because this is going to be the best part of this entire talk. All right. Now, exhale your egoic consciousness and give it over to Mother Earth. Imagine a sphere of light 2 feet beneath your feet, from which you're exhaling your human ego right now. Just gently let it go as you come into your presence, and we call on the divine to be with us. And now I want you to just breathe up from the earth, very gently but intentionally, the strength and nourishment of Mother Earth up into your body. And then exhale gratitude now back into the earth for what she's doing for you. We thank you, Mother Earth, for connecting us. For every time we go down, we also go up. And that's what's happening. We thank you for that connection. Now, breathe down from a sphere of light 2 feet above your head. Breathe down into your heart. The divine masculine energy of you, balancing yourself above and below, warming you up for what we're about to do. And exhaling gratitude to the divine for all that they do. We thank you. Thank you. With gratitude, we're so grateful. We know that you're helping us, and we know that you're giving us wisdom and guidance. And we know that by asking in this way, all that we ask for will come true. Our only job is to be patient. Now, from this place, this is where we ask questions. So let's begin. Divine, let's start with a very general question. Divine, what do you need me to be aware of? What do you want me to be aware of? And we affirm that the moment we ask this, the energy is what's truly important, not the intellect, the energy. And we affirm that that answer is coming to us, to that question, non-linearly, outside of conscious awareness. We welcome all thoughts, experiences, physical sensations as we go above our egoic mind, and we receive the answers to the following question. Divine, what did I and you know about myself as a child, as a very young child? What did you, divine, know about me when I was a child? Show me what my face looked like as a child, radiating the glow of spirit when I was laughing and playing and being silly. And now we breathe that essence of who we are. We breathe it into our hearts right now with an intentional breath, filling our lungs up with the energy of our divine essence, which is that of the child, the innocent, playful, joyful, silly child. And we reclaim it right now with our breath. And we feel the reverberations in our bodies as that energy floods our entire system. Divine, in order to deepen my service to you and to deepen my relationship with my own inner child and my divine self, what do you ask me to release? And what do I need to give over to you so that I may feel more of this? As we sink deeper and deeper together, thank you for those answers. Divine, what new creative ideas are you asking me to take action upon that I've been repressing, ignoring, or denying? What are you asking me to take action on so that I can be inspired and so that I can complete what I'm here to do? We thank you for those aha moments, and we pledge to act on them. We will do our part. And finally, Divine, who needs my prayers? Who needs a little love today? Show me who I can pray for right now. And we create with you, we affirm that when we create a symbol of love, whether it's a rose or a dove or a rainbow, we blow that symbol of love towards that person from a spiritual perspective, and you do the work. So we send a symbol of love now to our people that need it, even people that frustrate us. They need it the most. We include them in this vortex of energy, and we reclaim it for ourselves as well. This is an act of divine love and service. And we thank you for reminding us, Divine, that that is what we are here to do in this moment. And we thank you for the awakening and the remembering that you have brought to us. Namaste. Amen. And so it is. And keep in this field. Do not leave it. We are just asking you now to change your focus, open your eyes when you're ready, and just stay in this field for the rest of your day. We are carrying this energy with us. That is 5D energy, and that's what it feels like. So thank you, everybody, for your role in that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, it's brought lots of peace, and also like the mind was going in all directions. It's like it brought the focus back to the center, and it's like it feels there was a lot of release there. So
yes.
And more trust also. Yeah. Leslie, sure. Thank you, Michael. That was perfect. Yes. Linda, thank you, Michael. And yeah, so Michael, thank you so much again for everything you shared. It was so inspiring. I really loved the call today.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions to the energy and the wisdom. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience, and I look forward to connecting with you down the road in future forums.
Absolutely. And Heather Shiraz, thank you so much. Goosebumps. I want it to last all day.
It can.
And Manisha, thank you, Michael, for this beautiful process. I received the messages. Linda, that was amazing. Linda, thank you for this wonderful gathering. Much love and light to all. Bernice, thank you. Thank you both. Carol, lots of hearts. And Dada, thank you both for this amazing call. Please bring Michael back again soon. Blessings.
Thank you, everybody. It's nice to hear that. It's nice to be thanked and affirmed. And I receive that from you. So thank you very much. It's been my pleasure, truly.
And yeah, again, everybody, I really invite you and recommend that you sign up to receive the gifts from Michael. I just put again the link on the chat box on Zoom and also on YouTube. And we'll find the free gifts button on the live events page and also later on the replay page. And the link also is on YouTube video description. Yeah, so thank you again, Michael. Very grateful to you. And also thank you so much to everyone for co-creating with us today's really amazing call. So thank you for your questions and comments as well. And with that, I'm sending you so much love and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.